Welcome to episode 374 of the 365 Message Center Show. In our messages today, we're going to be having a look at Copilot, Teams, a little bit around some of SharePoint and what's happening there as well. The first message that we want to highlight is this Teams Room Recommender. Hey doofus, you forgot to add a meeting location to your meeting. So here's some suggestions. Let's see how that works out. I actually also like this next one, which is about, hey, Copilot, whoa, stop, slow down. I don't want to hear any more responses. What does that mean? Okay, well, we'll see how that affects our experience. And lastly, Daniel is going to get his soapbox out on a particular aspect around pinning the Copilot Chat application and how that is being handled. Let's go for 374 Message Center Show. No, it's the episode 374. Let's get going with this. Sorry about that.
Wow. Yeah. That's fun. Yes, it's episode 374 of the 365 Message Center Show. You'd think you'd know the name by now. I'm just saying.
Well, yeah, I mean, after 374 episodes, maybe.
But maybe not. Maybe that just means we're youthful and we are, it's what show? It's
no, that's less likely to be youthful, man. That's like we're getting old and we're forgetting youthful.
You know what I do remember is that we really want people to hit us up on socials, all the socials that matter, at 365 MCS. And as we're going through these messages, if you have a thought of, hey, you're right, Daniel, and I'll go, of course I am. Or you're like, you know what, I want to give my opinion. Wonderful. If you're watching on YouTube, go ahead and just drop a comment down below and let us know. Or you have a question? Let us know that too. We'd love to interact with you. We'd love to have those for every episode where people are adding to the community thoughts and their opinions, and love it. Absolutely love it. So looking forward to seeing many comments this week, Daryl.
Yes.
Many comments.
This weekend. That they might have a comment about this first message.
Yes. The doofus one. Yes.
The doofus one. It's now going to be forever known as the doofus message.
Yes.
I love the word doofus. It just really kind of, has an endearing quality. Maybe because I've been called doofus a lot.
Okay. I was about to say, should I start calling you doofus now?
Sure. Hey, doofus, Daryl.
Tell us how we can get recommendations for rooms, Daryl.
Yeah, I will definitely do that because I have been that doofus before. In fact, I've been the doofus that sets up the meeting but doesn't add the team's details and sometimes doesn't even invite the person that I intended. I just block time in my calendar. Doofus! Anyway, this message is, hey doofus. Oh, there it is in my list. Very good. Microsoft Teams Room Recommender MC 1045219. It is definitely something I will find useful. I'll first of all say it is a Teams premium feature, right? So have that and you'll get this benefit. What is the benefit? You set up a meeting. You are about to go to that meeting, maybe in an hour's time or so. You're preparing to go along and bring value. Maybe you're the organizer too, so you definitely should be bringing value. And oops, you forgot to put a meeting room there. What can happen is on site, when you're in person, you're like, oh, geez, got to find a meeting room now and try and frantically look through and see what's available. That's not cool to happen 5 minutes before the meeting. It means that you're going to all end up attending from your desk and you're not going to get the value of being there in person. This feature will understand and know that people that you've invited to this meeting, maybe they've signaled that they are working in the office and perhaps they're using that feature as part of Teams and M365. And so in about an hour before the meeting, it checks, do you have a room? Oops, no, you forgot that. Or who's attending between, I think, what is it? There's a number here somewhere here, between 5 and 7 people, something like that. So it's looking for those sorts of numbers, and then it'll go out and try and recommend a room to you. You forgot, maybe you want to book this one. Do it now. So I really like this, Daniel, because it it helps to leverage that, people that are in the office. Oh, and I'll say this too. How many times have you been in a meeting on site with, people you're working with, but you're doing it at your desk and you're like, hey, you look like you're in the office based on your blurred background. Should we get a room together for the meeting? Have you done that, Daniel?
Yeah, and it's wouldn't it be better in many ways to get together with someone in person instead of doing it virtually at your desk and be able to, get those benefits of an in-person conversation. And I think, something like this would help a lot, right? With that kind of situation of,
Precisely.
okay, let's figure this out and suggest a room. And I think it's great.
Yeah. Like, this is what I like about not just telling me that here's some people that are attending and they are in the office, but also doing it at the time that it reminds you, an hour out from that. Okay, well, now we do have time to plan to go and use a room together to attend. Very cool. There's various different things that it's looking for before it makes those suggestions. And it can do that. Look at they've got a screenshot in this message that shows you can even get this reminder or this suggestion even from your mobile. So if you're wandering the office and you're, maybe making a coffee or you're doing something else and there's a meeting coming up, you're going to see it on your phone too, to just quickly book that room. Nice. Kind of looks like a recommendation for an Airbnb though, as that card looks like there.
Okay.
Go get a room. Never mind.
Wow.
You got any other thoughts about this, Daniel?
No, just wow.
Okay. Yeah, wow. Well, why'd you go there? General availability worldwide will begin rolling out early May and expect to be complete in late May. Our next message takes us into the Viva Connections space. And Daniel, let's get agentic about this.
Ooh, agentic. Agentic is a word we heard quite a bit recently, Daryl and I, but we can't talk about that. Microsoft Viva Connections cards in SharePoint agents, MC1045227. So this is kind of getting in the area of, it should do that. And this is exactly what I want Copilot to be able to do. So what I mean by that is I approach Copilot with questions, with the need that I have at that moment. And I would really like Copilot just to do it. If I'm saying, I want to ask time off for a particular day, next month, and say, I want to tell Copilot, I want to ask off for April 25th. I want Copilot to be like, okay, I'm going to submit your time off. Does this look correct of when you want to ask this off? And I just click a button. Yes, just do it. Cool. I mean, I think that's a great, thing, and maybe we'll get there, right? But I think this is a great first step. If we've already created these cards in Viva Connections, so the dashboard, right, in Viva Connections, to do things like, asking time off is I think a big one. But maybe what is my available days off? Like, how many more vacation days do I have? Maybe I've created a card that syncs with my HR system, or you can think of all of these cards that people have created to bring that value into that dashboard experience. Well, now we're going to be able to, in Copilot, when Copilot realizes what we're asking for and there's a Viva Connections card, it will present that card in the chat for us. And while this message severely lacks information, such as, screenshots, you can go to that first link there in the message, and it'll takes you to a support article, and it'll show you what this looks like. So this is, I think it's very fitting that we just just finished talking, Daryl did, about scheduling a room for a meeting. And the example that is for this message is scheduling a room. So it's a card called Spaces, and it's reserving a conference room in a particular building. So, you could think about all of those bringing value kind of concepts that we've been talking about over the many months with Viva Connections cards, and you're just bringing that into Copilot to do things. Because again, that's where I think Copilot can help us. Yes, do some deep research. It can help us but for me, I think, I don't know. Do you agree with me, Daryl? I don't know. Maybe you don't, and that's fine. You could be wrong. But I really want Copilot to do more. And that's what I envision Copilot is. Yes, it's great to bring me information, like to say, oh, you want to do that thing? Here's the steps to do it. But it would be even better if it just did it, right? If it was just like it was able to do more. And while it's not Copilot doing it, it's bringing you the tool in the chat to where you can do the thing straight away. It's a good step in my mind. Do you agree with me that that's kind of what users are expecting AI to do?
Just going back to your comment about disagreeing with you means that I'm wrong. I can proudly say that I'm going to be right, and I agree with you. So this is triggered from the SharePoint agent on the page where the card is available. Okay, maybe let's just pause on that for a bit. The card is right there and in your face before you start using the SharePoint agent, so try it. But it's nice to see that Copilot is going to suggest, oh, you just asked me about booking a room. Here's the spaces card that's available. Go ahead and use that. I do think, yes, it's important for this progression of Copilot experiences, even within agents, to be targeted and to deliver up experiences that are more intentional and interactive than just text. And good to see this as a first indication of what might be coming in future in this space.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it is important to, we're talking about the SharePoint agents, which is Copilot on the SharePoint page. The query, it has to kind of be in the title or of the description of the card. So you have to, be very mindful about what you're calling these cards. So it has to match the title of the description of the card. So just know that you're going to have to put that in there. It doesn't have to be that the card is visible.
Oh.
It just has to be that it's published. Now, and I make that point because this is something we've talked about before. SharePoint only shows you a certain number of cards, and then the rest are in the all view, right? So you only get to see the top, the first ones that are applicable, that maybe are targeted to you if you're using audience targeting, that are targeted towards you. It just means that, because there could be a bunch that are not displayed to you on that page, but it does have to be published. So that is something to keep in mind. This is rolling out public preview late March, so already-ish, completed by late June. And then general availability worldwide will be late June 2025 and be expected to be completed by late August 2025. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm also looking forward to
Careful now.
I'm also looking forward to not just yelling at Copilot to stop, but actually being able to say, "Stop, Copilot, just stop," and make it actually stop. Tell me about it, Daryl. How are we going to do that?
How are we going to do that? Well, Daniel, you've said it all. Ability to stop Copilot. Well, it is generating a response. This is going to be a quick message. MC104522. You'll be able to stop Copilot while it's responding to you. Ta-da! Actually, I don't mind this. This is okay, because maybe as you're looking down, oh, that's what I was looking for. Thank you, Copilot. That's all I need. I don't need the full paragraph that you're about to write. Or, oh, wait, that's not what I was after. I want to save the silicon trees and the burning credits or whatever else is consumed in the data centers. Let me be green and conscious and click stop so that I'm saving that. You can play your part too, people. So this is really it. It's that simple. You'll be able to stop a response in mid-response. I welcome this. I welcome this in other experiences too, where maybe I don't actually want to trigger off Copilot ahead of time. I get that things are happening in the background to maybe make it performant and deliver up the information to me, like opening Word with a summary already there, but just sort of tucked away. But yeah, I feel like me personally, I want to trigger some of these things off intentionally and stop them if that's not what I needed. So that is it. That's the thing. And a targeted release should be able to do this rolling out early May, complete by mid-May, and general availability will begin rolling out mid-May, expected to be complete late May. Yeah, that. All right, moving on to, hey, we're still in Copilot. Let's keep chatting about Copilot. Let's chat about Copilot Chat. And Daniel, this, I believe, is where we need to bring out the little soapbox thing that I've created for previous videos.
Yeah. Microsoft, yes, maybe. Microsoft 365 Copilot Chat, simplifying the default pinning configuration. Oh, that sounds positive, doesn't it? Looks can be deceiving. MC 1045945. So I read this title, before I clicked it. I'm like, oh, simplifying things is great. We love simplification. Then I read it and I understood it to that's not what's happening here. So this is Microsoft is going to pin Microsoft 365 Copilot Chat, the app, it's going to pin that for you because you probably didn't understand that you need it, basically. So what this is doing is it's going to pin it in Teams forever. That every user is going to get this pinned in Teams, pinned in Outlook, and Microsoft 365 Copilot Chat is going to be pinned in the Microsoft 365 Copilot app, which for those playing along, remember that's office.com and then Microsoft365.com.
m365.cloud.microsoft.
See, yes, but oh my gosh.
Got to use these sound effects.
Great. Yes, Daryl uses his nice. So it is, now you can change, admins can change this, but basically Microsoft is, and I'm reading between the lines here, but basically, before what was happening is it would prompt, right? And when that first run experience of I'm using this, I have Copilot, great. It would say, hey, user, don't you want to pin this? And I think Microsoft is acknowledging that those prompts are frustrating because I'm not there to see what I can pin or shouldn't pin. I'm trying to do something. And so things pop up and you're like, shut up, click, click, get out of my way. I'm trying to do something. Well, it never prompted you again. And so therefore it didn't get pinned. And so therefore you're not using it. So Microsoft's saying, hey, I want you to be using Copilot. Surprise, surprise. Microsoft wants people using Copilot. So now, if your admin does not go in and change this setting, it will now pin Copilot to those places I talked about for every user, whether they like it or not. Now, they can unpin it. That is something, still users will be able to unpin it once it is pinned. But that's what's happening. Do I like this? No, I don't like this at all. I understand, Daryl, the driver here, right? Copilot can be very useful. And it's even if you don't have a paid license, right? Having that chat there available, it still can be that biz chat. It's, whatever. It still can be useful for people to have Copilot there that has access to, research and all that. Great. I don't like forcing this pinning because pinning has been a user-driven feature, forever. That's the whole core of it, right? Is it's personalized to me, and I pin what I want to pin to enable me to do my job. And now it's being forced upon us, unless the people that are watching, or those that are admins, go in and change this. Maybe I'm making too big of a deal out of this, and that's fine. Sometimes I do that. I'm human. But Daryl, I don't like that the change of this of, hey, we prompted you and not enough people said yes, so we're going to force it on you.
Yeah, that's certainly one view. Admins do like to pin other applications too. We were just talking about one, Viva Connections. That's something that was pinned to our experience to bring our intranet, or bring the, nicely it's not Copilot, connectionized experience of our intranet. We sometimes want to pin like the applications that might be gauging our pulse or our how we're feeling about work and other stuff. And so that real estate down the app rail is quite valuable, especially in the Teams area. In Outlook, I guess it's just growing. It's just new and things are smaller, so you can stack stuff there. But it really does give that sense that, and apart from Microsoft wanting to drive more use of Copilot, or at least normalize the ability to have it there as something to help you, whether you've got the full license or whether you're just sourcing web stuff from free. It's like, we need that to be there in your peripheral vision so that you can remember that it's there. And yeah, it's going to compete with that landscape, or rather that real estate for that space.
Yeah, because it's so difficult to find Copilot.
Yeah.
It's right there in Windows. It's right there in every app that you use. Copilot's just like, hey, click me. Come on, click me.
Well, what do we call that thing down the side? I think we were recently discussing, where Copilot is there in view on the canvas, we're calling it now the Copilot cursor. Not to be cursing it, but it's right there.
Yeah. I'm not hating on Copilot.
Yeah.
I use it every day. I'm not hating on it. I just, regardless of what app it is, I don't like the forcing on us of, oh, we've made this to where it's totally user driven, but we're a Copilot company now, and therefore we're going to force everybody to have this pinned. I don't like that. I don't like that change. And if you weren't convinced that this was marketing and trying to get more usage, they even included a marketing message at the bottom that you can send out to users that says, Copilot Chat, Microsoft's free and secure generative AI powered by GPT 4.0 is now pinned. I'm like, come on. If that doesn't confirm this is a marketing message, I'm great. I actually would love to see most of our messages have something like that. Messages
I was going to say that.
Yes. In our, if most of our messages had something like, hey, if you want to inform your users, you could copy paste this into your newsletter, into your email, whatever, however you're communicating, great. But we don't. That's not something we typically, in fact, I don't know if this is maybe the first time ever.
First time I've seen it. Anyway,
I'm done with my soapbox. Again, it has nothing to do with Copilot. It has everything to do with it changing. And, it seems like it's being driven by what most things are driven by.
Normalizing things.
Money! Money! The rollout of this change begins May 1st. So you have until then, if you so choose, to click the thumbs down button and say, don't shove this down my user's throat. But maybe it's fine. And hey, do you agree with me? Hit us up in the comments. Let us know. If you disagree with me, just keep your mouth. No, I'm just kidding. We'd love to hear you. If you disagree and say, Daniel, God, give it a rest, fine. Put that in the comments too. We'd love to hear it. Let us know.
I'm in partial agreement with Daniel, but I'm sort of in disagreement too. Join me in the comments. Let's have a chat.
You know what you could also do, Daryl, to show me how how you disagree with
that
me.
Sentiment, Daryl. You can put it where the sun don't.
You can create a PowerPoint.
Okay.
And so you can give me a presentation of how you disagree with me, and maybe you could talk about your starting point. Like, how could you get started creating that PowerPoint, Daryl?
I wonder if I got creative with that and actually used that as the thumbnail. Daryl's PowerPoint for disagreeing with Daniel on this message. Okay. Microsoft PowerPoint reference a PDF file when creating a presentation with Microsoft 365 Copilot. Preview. Probably have to slow down and break that down. That's why we've got the show, right? MC 10472338. Feels like I said enough numbers. You have probably got a bunch of PDFs that are useful, sort of. Yeah, you can source them, you can read them. They've got instructions, they've got policies. They're in PDF form because we don't want people editing them. And yeah, that's one way for using them. Sometimes we use them if we've got a Microsoft 365 Copilot license, then we can read through that content, summarize it, get a sense of what's inside that document. And what's been added here is if that content could be purposed as a PowerPoint, could turn it into a presentation, then it's now becoming a source for doing so. Now, going into Copilot, I can't really tell here from the screenshot, but typically where I would do this is I've gone and opened PowerPoint, the desktop application or the web application, whatever. And I say, hey, Copilot, use this file to create a presentation for me. Go and use this Word document. And it will go and understand the sections. It'll create slides for me. It might even drop in some suggested images as a starting point. PDFs are going to be a new source for that. So it doesn't have to be just Word documents. It can now be PDFs. The screenshot shows a quick shorthand way of referencing that file, so don't be too confused. It's not like you're saying /PDF to indicate use a PDF, but rather it's finding the word PDF in there. And the suggested files that pop up and that sort of pop out, I forget what we call those things. They're not like modal windows, but when you fly out, let's just call it fly out. Include PDFs. We joked that maybe for optimal performance that you might want to use a PDF that was formerly a PowerPoint.
No.
And it could probably reconstruct it as a PowerPoint.
That would be interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, right now, we can use Word files, right, to do this,
Yep.
that it looks at, what is your headers and what is the paragraphs and describe it. And so, it uses that content to create your slides. And I mean, that's useful. I think the use case here really is around we have content, but it was, like you said, saved as a PDF. And we don't have the Word version anymore. So what do we do now? You could open the PDF in Word and then save it as a Word document. But instead, let's skip all that and just let PowerPoint, if that's the intent of, what you're trying to do, let's let just PowerPoint get going with it. So
That's right. And because this is a quick message, that's all I've got to say about that. Go and try it out once it's there. Of course, you do need to have a Microsoft 365 Copilot license and the features in preview, because that's in the title of the message. So the public preview is available now. Go and try it if you've got the prerequisites. And general availability, it will be available mid-April. Ooh, that's only a week or two away. And complete by late May. And we will finish on checking our pulse, Daniel.
I was just doing that yesterday. Microsoft Viva Pulse. Generate a summary for Pulse reports using Microsoft 365 Copilot. MC1047239.
My summary is that I have a pulse.
Nice. Very nice. This is really, I think, basically introducing a data source into Copilot, which is Viva Pulse. So now, I will say also, I think this is just in Viva Pulse, right? Meaning you have to be in Pulse to do this. I may be proven wrong, but I don't have access to do this yet. So, we'll see. But I think when you're in Pulse, be able to say, what happened? Just like, from a meeting, you're doing a recap and you're like, what happened in this meeting? And Copilot goes, I'm looking at the transcript. Here's what happened. It can look at your pulses and go, well, you had this, and I think an example, example here shows response rate, how many people responded to the pulses sent out. What was the overall sentiment? Do people, maybe your pulse was, how satisfied are you? And it says, percentage-wise, this is how many people are satisfied. Giving you the same kind of kind of functionality you would do with meeting, saying what was the points talked about, what's the outline here, what happened. Same thing with Pulse. What is the summary here? And so you'll be able to get that summary of your pulses and then copy that and send it off and say, hey, everybody, thanks for replying to pulses. Here's what the results are from it. Now, obviously this is generated by AI, so you do need to double check. So maybe double check a little bit, because if you're sending this out and you're saying, here's what it was, and it's incorrect, there may be some interesting conversations that you have, but generally speaking, it's probably going to be close. So anyway, I think this is a great innovation. We're going to see more and more of this all over the place in the products in Microsoft 365. And I would actually love to see this in Copilot Chat, to be able to say, hey, the last Pulse I sent out, give me a summary of blah, 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 and not have to go into Pulse. Again, we're assuming that's where you have to get that aggregated kind of report, Copilot report. General availability worldwide will be late March 2025, so already-ish, and expected to be completed by late April 2025.
Already-ish?
Already-ish.
I haven't heard that one yet either.
We need to create shirts. Everybody, we're going to work on that. We're going to have some shirts and some swag in our YouTube channel. And I think we should have shirts that are like, have those phrases.
Yeah.
I think it'll be good.
Now-ish, already-ish. Got it-ish. That's the show-ish. We've done the show. Thank you for joining us this week. It was an interesting chat, as always, with Daniel, and as always with myself. I say lots of things that keep me amused. Don't know about you, but that's all that matters, right? Oh, we're going to go down on those ratings again. Look, thanks all for joining. You know where to find us on the socials at 365MCS. And do leave your comments in the chat. Join us there. We enjoy checking in throughout the week and having a banter about what we think and our experience. And look, I think I'd just say that there are some people that are regulars there which do offer value. We really value the depth that you're sharing. Maybe you've got greater domain expertise in these spaces. So thumbs up, and thanks so much for that. So next week, 375. And I'll try not to get the number of the episode mixed up with the name of the show.
All right, everyone. See you next time. Bye for now.